Right guys, hello and welcome, lesson 11. Let's have a look at what we're doing. Super, really satisfying, really cool, like it. And actually not super difficult. Yeah, not super difficult. Right, okay, let's go ahead and get started. File, new. I'm not really interested in saving that. Let's get rid of our light. In fact, let's delete everything. Okay, so what do we need first? First, we need a torus. N, to bring up my scale, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Boy, I can never remember. Okay, right, so okay, I'll 0 on the x-axis, 90 degrees on the y-axis, 0 on the z-axis. Let's go into right orthographic view. Let's go into edit mode. We need to make sure X-ray is turned on. And then I'm going to select the top half of this torus, of this donut. Then G to grab, E to extrude, Z axes, and just drag that up just a touch. When we've done that, we can get out of object mode. We can go object, we can reset the origin, yeah, because now we've changed the geometry. So object set origin, object to geometry. When we've done that, I want to shift D to duplicate. I want to grab it on the z-axis. I want to move it up, not here, otherwise it'll collide, and not really down here. Okay, so I want a bit of a gap. Something like that is fine. Yeah. When I've done that, I want to rotate this, not like that. Like that. Okay, so 0 on the x-axis, 90 and 90. Okay, so this is our first kind of chain link. Good. When we've done that, select both of them, shift D, grab, move them on the z-axis, move them up, again not too high, there we go, something like that. And now shift R, shift R, shift R, shift R, as many times as you want, as few times as you want, okay? Right, let's grab these. Let's select them, let's grab them, let's move them up. Okay, because this is going to be our floor. All right, fine. Let's add, what to do next? Okay, next let's set up the physics. Chains, actually, yeah, that's fine. Let's set up the physics. So I'm just selecting the top one, okay, just the top one. This is going to be a bit different. This is going to be passive. Okay, rigid body, this is passive, and it's going to be a mesh. For these other ones, yep, so not the top one. Wait, hello. Yep, so for all of these other ones, now these are all the same color, so I want an active one. So I'm going to shift and click on one. Okay, it doesn't matter which one. So this is now yellow, so this is now my active one. This is going to be rigid body, it's going to be active, and it's going to be a mesh. And now that I've got that, I can go to object, I can go rigid body, and I can go copy from active. And what that means is that now all of these are now rigid body, active, and a mesh. Let me drag this up a little bit. Let me resize this a little bit. Let me press play. Okay, and the chain relaxes. Yeah, all of this slack comes out. And there we go. We've got our chain, yeah? This one is passive, so this one doesn't move. So this one holds all of the rest. Now, because this one is the top one, I'm going to grab this, I'm going to scale this. I'm going to make this one a bit thicker, okay? It needs to be a bit stronger because it's supporting all of the weight of these, yeah? Right. So this one's a little bit thicker. Now, down here, we need our ball. So I'm in right orthographic view. I'm going to add a UV sphere. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to scale it. This is going to be our wrecking ball. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to move it on the z-axis. Something like that. Okay. And then using the Shift key, I'm going to select both of them. I'm going to go right click, join. And I'm going to go right click, shade smooth. Yeah. Good. Press play. Good. Our ball hangs. Right, we're going to need more than 250 frames. We're going to need about 500 frames. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now let's start setting up some of the scene. So I'm going to add a material to this one. So new material. Actually, no, let's go ahead and set up the environment first. So world, color. Let's have an environment texture. So this is going to be one of our HDRIs. Any HDRI that you like. For example, okay, quite like that. Now, now let's set up one of these materials. So I've got my ball selected. I'm going to make this metallic. I'm going to turn down the roughness, and I'm going to increase the sheen. Okay, and now it gives us a beautiful metallic color. Okay, I can select all of them. Now this one is yellow, okay, so that means this one is active. All of these are orange. So now if I go Command L, yeah, I can link materials, and now I get the same materials on each of them. If I press play, okay, good, fine. Yeah. If you want a different color, if you want this to be black, just have it black, yeah, that doesn't matter. Yeah, and because they're all linked, if you change one of the colors, it changes all of the colors. Oh, that's actually not too bad. Yeah, okay, all right, let's have it green. Right, okay, what's next? Well, next, let's grab this and let's move this up, okay, because it's going to be our wrecking ball, so we don't want it on the ground. Oh, wait, hello. Need to be back at frame 1 to do this. Okay, fine. Then what do we want? Then, okay, so now let's rotate it. Yeah, so select all of them. Let's rotate. And let's rotate it. Let's go into overhead view. I want this first link, I want it just off center. So I'm going to grab it, I'm going to move it along the y-axis. Yeah, and I want it just, in fact, let's put it kind of like there. Yeah. Now, I like it when this one is straight. We can press play. Okay, fine. But I want this one to be straight. I don't want this top one to be at a right angle. So, I think I just need to change these. No. So like this. And like this. Okay, fine. Now that's not in the loop. So let's go ahead and fix that. Just going to grab this, move this along the y-axis. In fact, I'm just going to grab this and move this a bit freehand. Okay, so that is now in the loop. Looks really nice. If I right click and shade smooth, I might get a slightly nicer material. Right, press play, and we've got our wrecking ball. Yeah, good. Again, just let me shade smooth, and then Command L, link materials. Okay, so now they're all shaded smooth, I think. Right. Okay, next. Well, we've got one. Let's Shift D that. Let's move that over. Wait, hang on. Have I copied it? Shift D. grab it, move it along, is it the y-axis? Move it along the y-axis here. Now I want to rotate it. I want to rotate it along this axis. It's quite tricky to do. It's easier. Oi, hello. That's not what I want. Oi, oi, oi. Hello. How's that looking? Let's go overhead. Okay, all right, I want to rotate that. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. Now if we press play, okay, so I copied this. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, so how am I going to fix that? I duplicated this too many times, so just let me undo all of this. Okay, there we go. Now I press play. Okay, all right, I've got one wrecking ball. So let me start that again. Shift D, grab it along the y-axis, there. Then I'm going to go overhead, and I'm going to rotate it. That's an easier way to do it. Yeah, and then I'm just going to make that a beautiful 90 degrees. Okay, good. Press play. All right, fine. Yeah. Now this, I don't really want them to share the same point. If I grab that, okay, I want to move this ball. I want to move this, but then I also need to move this. And I want a kind of symmetry to it. Okay, so this is my center point. So grab it, X. No, sorry, grab it Y. So I want them approximately the same distance apart. So something like that, yeah? So I'm using this line here and this line here. Okay, they're at the same height. Okay, all right, fine, that looks good. Again, you can have anything that you want, guys, yeah? You don't have to copy this exactly. But that is fine. I'm fairly happy with that. Doof. Right, what's next? Next, let's go ahead and add a plane. Let's go back into our select view. This is going to be a fairly big plane, I think. 100 meters by 100 meters. Let's have a material. You can have an image text. You can have anything you want. What are my materials? Materials, a panel, okay, all right. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and have a normal, wait, hang on. Let me delete this. I'm just going to go ahead and have a normal color, yeah. I might make it metallic. I might reduce the roughness. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. And I might increase the sheen as well. All right, fine. Doof. Right, now we need some cubes. Okay, so let's go ahead, add a cube. Now, when we add a cube, half of it's underground, so we need to fix that. So I'm going to grab it on the z-axis. I need to hold down Control as I move the cube up, and then it snaps to the floor. Okay, that's important. I'm going to make this cube a little bit more beautiful. So I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to select my bevel tool. I'm just going to bevel the edges just a little bit. Yeah, there we go, just a touch. Back into object mode. Let me set up a material for this. So I'm going to have a beautiful, beautiful reddish material, deep red material. I'm going to have this metallic. I'm going to turn the roughness down. I'm going to turn the sheen up. Super. Yeah, looks beautiful. Now what's next? Okay, let's go ahead and set up the physics for this. For our plane, the physics, let me start this again. For our plane, the physics is passive. And we can leave that, I think, as convex hull. So that's our plane. For our cube, this is going to be active. We want it nice and light so that when we crash into them, they fly everywhere. And if they're too heavy, they won't do that. So let's change this to 0.1 kilo. And this is going to be a box, okay, because it is a box. All right, now we need loads of them. So we'll go to modifier. We'll go to add modifier. We'll go to array. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have 6 across. You can have as many as you want. And I want a little bit of space between them. Okay, so I'm going to change it from 1 to 1.1. Okay, so done that. Now we want another array. Yeah, leave this alone. Now we're playing with this one down here. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have it the same. This one needs to become 0, and this one needs to become 1.1. Okay, good. Now let's do it again. Add modifier array. Again, leave this one alone. Leave this one alone. Now we're working on this bottom one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Change this one to 0. And now I'm going to have this one as 1. Because I do want them sat tightly on top of each other. I don't want a gap between them. I don't want that. I want them sat tightly on top of each other. Okay, when we've done that, from the bottom, we can apply that. Then we can apply that. And then we can finally apply the first one. Now you'll notice we've just got one cube. So we need to fix that. How do we fix that? We go into edit mode. We're going to P. And we're going to separate by loose parts. And now you see we've got hundreds of them. How many? Yeah, over 200, 215. We can go out of edit mode back into object mode. Now, only this one, the original one, the Genesis cube, has its geometry. Okay, so these all need their geometry. If we press play, oh dear, that looks a mess, doesn't it? Crikey. All right, anyway. So these all need their geometry. So I can go object, set origin, origin to geometry. Now they all have their own center of gravity. Let's check the physics. Okay, so we set the physics up earlier. Let me pick a random cube. Okay, good. Let me bake this. Wait, didn't mean to do that. Increase the speed. Delete my bake and bake. This will take a second or two. Okay, right. I need to change this to 500 because I've got 500 frames, yeah? So I need to change in my cache to 500. So let me do that again. Okay, good. Now if I press play, what happens? No? Okay, all right. Let's do that again. Doof. Okay. All right, now we just need to play with our locations. Let me hide my plane. Let me select all of these. Let me go overhead. Now I want to grab it, just grab it, and I want it in the center. So I've got this circle in the center. There we go. Okay, I think that's pretty close. That's pretty much the center. Press play. Okay, right, so I need to unhide my plane. Change the speed back, delete my break, bake again. Not sure I like those greens. I might change those in a minute. Press play. Doof. Okay, so it's not breaking apart as much as I would like. So I don't like that green, so I'm going to change that. In fact, I'm just going to change them to black. Yeah. Now this, let's have a look at the physics here. Aha, all right, so this is just 1 kilo. This ball is just 1 kilo. So let's make it a proper wrecking ball. Yeah, 25 kilos, 25 kilos. I probably need to bake. Yeah, okay, I need to rebake this. Let's move them as well, because they're a little bit too high. So I'm going to grab these. On the z-axis, I'm going to move them down a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, okay, so now I need to rebake. Change my speed, delete all bakes and bake. Take a second or two. Okay, good. Press play. Bang. Right. Right, so problem, yeah? So our chain actually broke. Yeah, so there's too much weight on this chain, and our chain actually broke. So, how to fix this? Okay, so I'm going to grab this, I'm going to scale this. I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to... So, I'm going to do the same here. Grab this and scale this. Oi, hello. Something like that. Is that still a link? Looks like it's now a bit of a problem. So I'm just going to grab that free hand, move that up a little bit. Don't want it touching, otherwise I think the animation will explode. Okay, something like that. Right, so maybe the ball is just a bit too heavy. So let's change the weight of this. 25 kilos, too heavy. The chain is breaking. These, 20 kilos. And I'm going to make these cubes a little bit lighter as well. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to select just my cubes. I've got an active one. Yep, so this is the active one. 0.01 kilos. Now that's only affected the active one. What I can do, I can go object, rigid body, copy from active. I probably need to bake again. Delete my bakes and bake. Super. Super, super. Oh, so satisfying. Okay, this one looks a little bit bigger than this one. I'm not going to worry about that too much. Very nice. Oh. Right, okay. Let's set up our camera and we're done. So we're going to add a curve. We're going to add a circle. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to scale it up, up and up and up. Come on. Easier to do from here, I think. 60 and 60. Right, let's have this a little bit bigger. We can always make it smaller later. 75, 75, something like that. Let's grab it. Let's move it up on the z-axis. Okay, right, now, have we got a camera? No, haven't got a camera. Okay, so let's add a camera. Option G, Option R to initialize our camera. Then, with our camera selected, I want to add a constraint. It's going to follow the path. It's going to follow our Bezier circle. Okay, camera's now here. This needs to be minus Z, this needs to be Y. And we want another constraint. Ah, yes, right, okay, now we need an empty. So we're going to add an empty cube. Grab this, move this up to about there. Go back to our camera. Our camera is going to track to, what's it going to track to? It's going to track to our empty. Okay, fine. Now if we look through the camera. All right, good. Let's zoom out. First of all, 25. Almost done. So still got my camera selected. Back to our modifiers. Track 2. Okay, we can apply this. Now this follow path. I want it to start. Wait, hello. Let me undo that. Okay, don't apply this just yet. Okay. Right, so where do I want the camera to start? Let's have a look. Let's have a think. Okay, my empty is a little bit too high. So I just need to move this down and the camera will move down automatically because it's tracking to it. Okay, fine. Let's go back to our camera. So follow path. So frame 1, I'm going to have a keyframe here. And then frame 400, let me zoom out a little bit so I can see what's going on. I want the camera to finish I'm going to have it finish here around offset 100. Okay, so if I do this, so the camera moves, and we should get some nice animation going on. Right, I think we're almost done. Super. Super, super. Okay, so something like that, guys, yeah? It doesn't have to be exactly as I've done it. You can have different colors, of course, different camera angles, different whatever you want, yeah? But something like that. When you're happy with that, change the output directory. We know how to do this already. Change the output directory. Change this to FFmpeg and change your encoding to QuickTime. And when you've done that, you can go render, hit render, and you're ready to move on to lesson 12. Very good, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. See you in the next lesson.